Okay, so ways to use redox gel. So we all know what that is, but this is like, you can see this slide here. I put this together showing all the different things you can use it for. So amazing, athletic recovery. That's me when I was pregnant. I used it so much when I was pregnant. You can use it on babies. You can use it for issues that people experience as they age. The whole family can use it. You can use it on your animals. They're my dogs. They're probably, you might see them in the background. They might jump up there. And of course, the thing that we really see in all the official materials is you can use it for the visible signs of aging. But I'm going to show you it's much more than that. Okay, so basically, you know, Asea's flagship technology is redox, and RENU is part of that redox technology. So it's still the same, it's still redox, still cell signaling molecules. It still tells our cells what to say to each other. Our cells are still breaking down, we're just putting the redox from the outside in. So you've probably all seen the science. I won't go into this into much detail, but I'm just going to point out a couple of really important things. RENU28 is proven to have a 50% increase in skin blood flow. Now, what does this do? It brings life force, it brings energy to the area. What happens when that is brought to an area of the body that is in a state of illness, disease, problem, that area of the body is a problem? It brings blood, it brings life flow, that area, it can return to health and be healthy. Just one more. Having a little puppy fight down there. I just sorted that out. Okay, so it's bringing life force to the area. This can help with so many things, and I've got some examples of that as well. So reduction in cellulite, this is something that people can see as really superficial. Cellulite is trapped toxicity in the body. And because of the health challenges that I had experienced for a long time, I'd always had cellulite on my thighs from, you know, even in my early 20s. So I actually, when I started using the liquid redox, I just felt better. I didn't really have any detoxification effects or anything like that. When I started using a tube of RENU a week on my thighs and buttocks where I had a lot of cellulite, I had an enormous detox. So while this may not have been pleasant, I knew that it was ridding things out of my body that shouldn't be there. And I'd been drinking the liquid redox for a couple of years by this point. So absolutely was having an incredible health benefit that I had not experienced through the liquid. Of course, the visible signs of aging. This is something that we all are familiar with around the RENU28 and the RENU Advanced product lines. But I want to point out in particular, you can get all the numbers. They're all in, you know, the virtual office. You can get them for yourself. This lady down on the bottom right is a friend of mine. She's actually an integrative medical doctor here in Australia. She had been using RENU and Asea for 6 months, and I bought her back a skin kit from Convention of RENU Advanced when it was launched. And I told her I would not give it to her. I was actually at her house until she let me take a photo. So I took a photo the night before. She had done 3 applications of the serum, and look at her eye. That's my bad photography. And it was actually 8:30 a.m. I've done the time wrong on there. Phenomenal results. So this is like super concentrated redox from the outside in. Now, she'd been using all the other redox and she hadn't seen this result. And she was actually like thinking, what should I, should I go and have something done with my face, because she was really uncomfortable about her wrinkles. And that was like 3 applications. So pretty phenomenal. And it just shows the power of the redox from the outside in. Okay, so you can look up all of those, but I'm going to take you through some uses. So animals, you can use the gel on animals. So exactly the same way as in people. Rub it on their skin. Definitely the area underneath it, like their tummies where they don't have a lot of fur, for cats and dogs can be a good place to put it. If it has a really badly affected area, you can shave it. We actually have a dog. She's had a growth of suspicious growth of like abnormal cells that has come up on her body, and we just used RENU28 and it completely resolved, and we were very concerned about it. This is another friend of mine's dog, had like a very nasty growth on its skin, and she says 1 week of redox gel and you can see what a huge impact it had had for Ralphie. He is not in pain and he is not tender. I can massage the gel in it and he doesn't flinch. He hears me shake the tube before applying and rolls over onto his back or a tummy tickle. Amazing. So animals know, right? They know what is good for them. They're more in tune with that than humans oftentimes. Babies as well. So we have our 18-month-old. She has had Renew on her since like a few minutes after she was born. She actually had quite severe coning when she was born, and we put Renew on it and just went away in minutes, like just like literally before Justin's eyes. But you can use it for all sorts of things. Nappy rash, it's incredible for teething. So you can teach people to do these things. On the outside of the mouth for teething. I have even when Joy's been teething really bad, just dabbed a little bit on her gums and it's just helped within minutes. Tummy discomfort. Of course, you can use this for kids, babies, adults as well. Just rub it. Any kind of skin irritations, ear discomfort, like you can rub it all around the ears, like the cradle cap that babies get, any burns, dry lips. If she gets a sniffle, I rub it around her nose for that. If babies have to have surgery, you can use it. So this is an example of a baby that was very early in when we started working with Renew here in Australia. And their parents had tried lots of other creams, as you can see there, and nothing worked. And the doctors were prescribing these strong steroidal creams, you know, and you could only use them for a little while and then you couldn't use them anymore. So you can imagine what the side effects of that could be. And then this is just a week of using Renew, completely resolved. So that mum was really, really, really happy. So beauty and anti-aging, this is the one that you're probably all the most familiar with. But you can definitely use Renew for all of these things. What I recommend is that people need to use more. They need a blueberry to a raspberry size. It is super, super important to educate people with Renew that it is not a moisturizer. It is not using that little tiny bit of moisturizer that particularly us as women are probably more used to using, these tiny little, it's like a blueberry to a raspberry size, and one of those big blueberries too, not those tiny wild blueberries. You use that, and when you're doing your face as part of the beauty regime, I would recommend people teach them to do their face, teach them to do their neck and all over their thyroid as well. So many people have an issue with this gland in their body, and it can really, really help. We have seen blood work move just from Renew on that area, like significant movements. So you want to do that, massage it all into the lymphatic system like this. Justin actually has a video demonstrating how to do that he's done, because it's kind of funny, a guy doing it, like doing their ritual, Renew ritual. So you can check that out as well. First aid. Everyone should have this in their bag all the time for first aid. Like we have used it when a friend has like sliced his head open with a water ski, sprains, strains, any kind of injury. As soon I had a C-section when my daughter was born, I put Justin put the Renew all around, like, so it was like taped up the wounds, but he put it all around the dressing as close as possible as soon as I got into recovery, and it healed up remarkably quickly. You can also put it up your nose if you have a cold or allergies. My mum does that all the time. She actually like shoves globs of it up her nose. She finds that that works better than anything else for seasonal allergies. In and around the ears for earaches, nosebleeds, you can like use it to help with that. Insect bites, a lot of people have allergies to those kinds of things. It can really help with that. If with first aid issues, you want to be applying it all the time, like, you know, just applying it like every few minutes when it's acute, and then continue a very regular application. So these photos here are of a lady, and she spilt a pot of boiling water all over herself when she was cooking, and she actually had 2nd-degree burns. They were, you know, pretty severe. She had to go to hospital. She had to get morphine and everything. And she was all bandaged up, and she put the gel all around the bandages. And then when they came off, directly on the area, and the people treating the burns were saying that her burns at like 4 days looked like they'd been healing for at least 10 days. So really, really phenomenal results. So definitely just keep it in your bag. And, you know, you don't want people to get hurt, but it's a great opportunity to help someone. And then, you know, they're probably going to be really interested in what that thing was that fixed them so fast. Children, you know, so many things that kids get. It's a great thing that you can use on children. Like my daughter loves it. She like comes in, she's like 18 months old, and she puts her hands out if I have Renew, and she asks for it on her hand. She's like, and then she rubs it in her hands and she rubs it on her face. So, you know, you also use it as a hand sanitizer. Really awesome. On the tummy and the soles of the feet to assist with sleep. Now, this is an amazing story. and really demonstrates the power of using this product topically. So this was, again, fairly early when we started working with Renew. And this lady says every 6 months we have to have blood tests to make sure nothing is going too wrong with my daughter who has a digestive autoimmune issue. 6 months ago, she was still very sick, on the verge of insulin resistance, and was either too low or way too high in everything on her blood test. Her body was completely out of whack. Excuse me, sorry, a bit thirsty. This week, my child got a near perfect blood test. Everything has leveled out. Adrenals are functioning fine. Calcium, iron, thyroid markers, everything is within normal range. We started the redox gel only 2 months before the blood test. We walked out of the doctor's office with nothing to do but continue to get better and better. For those asking, we were rubbing the gel on the tummy, face and neck twice a day. Now, this girl was 14 and had been told by her doctor that she'd have to have most of her bowel removed, that her, by the time she was 20, because her autoimmune issue was so severe. That was just the gel. No liquid, that's it, just the gel. So super, super powerful. We actually find digestive issues and women's hormonal issues that Renew is better. So it seems to be faster and more effective. Discomfort. So, you know, you've got a sore head, those like aches in the head coming on, you can like put it on really regularly. A lot of people that have to take medication for that reports that stops them coming on altogether or stops the severity of it, so they don't have to take the drugs. They don't have the severe side effects of those. Sore throat, I've prevented colds coming on through just using Renew. Aching joints, incredible. Tired, sore feet. This is a great one, and this is again just the gel, and she had phenomenal results. So she says, all through my life I've had debilitating discomfort from accidents, and I've had fatigue for many years. So she had a serious fatigue issue. I've tried so many different things and they worked for a little while, but I always ended up back to square one. I didn't think it was going to do anything. After all, it's just a gel. I started on my face and hands, which were really sore with inflamed joints. After about 5 minutes, around 75% of my pain was gone. The next morning, I looked at my face and I could even see some changes overnight. I started to use the gel everywhere and began using it on my armpits. Toxins started to move out and my energy and stamina improved. My husband noticed the difference and I was even able to go out and help with the cattle mustering. And she hadn't been able to do this for many, many years. So eyesight, many people, so many people have stopped wearing their glasses or had to get new prescriptions just through putting the gel on it. So what you can do is you can put it around the eye and on the eyelids twice a day. Before you go to bed at night, you can put a thicker layer on the eyelids just before you close the eyes. This skin is very thin and the molecules will just penetrate through the skin in this area into the eye. So this is a lady, she had eyesight improvements after years and years of experiencing a decline through using redox. So her eyesight had been declining. She goes and gets like another eye test and it actually improved. She had to get new glasses. So pretty amazing. Hormonal well-being. Now this is one of the huge things for the gel. So powerful for hormonal well-being. Rub it on the thyroid twice a day. Rub over the hormonal areas, ovaries and testes twice a day. Rub over areas of discomfort to help with women's monthly discomfort. If necessary, just keep repeating this. Also, blood sugar regulation issues. Rub the gel over the pancreas. Okay, I have seen people's blood sugar normalize from putting the gel on their neck and their knees. Like I've actually seen it, like normalize, like where they've had an issue where the doctors are like, you've got a problem, you've got to take medication because your blood sugar's too high, and no issues. So this is a lady, I'm 90% pain-free in 2 days. I'm applying the gel 4 times a day. I feel tingly, like my body is communicating to itself really well. The pain I've experienced on and off for 20 years has drastically lowered. This second one, my dad has been using the gel on his feet, throat and face for 8 weeks now. He has just been to the doctors to get his blood test results and his blood sugar and cholesterol have gone down considerably. My father's sugar levels have never been so low. So this is just the gel. This is all we had, like when people were sending these things to us. So we didn't have anything else. Increase endurance and energy. So this is something that we found as well. If you rub a raspberry size over the face and neck, you can get a quick uplift in energy, and people were starting to use this instead of a coffee. Then ladies were like, oh, I don't want to mess up my makeup. So they were like rubbing it on their arms and on their inner arms and their elbows and the wrists and the back of their neck and experiencing the same thing. This is the therapist from Brisbane. She says, I have a lady who deals with high blood pressure. She's been using the gel for the last month and has noticed increased energy, better sleep, and skin improvement. So just from the gel. So this is some other therapists, and when they say Asea, they mean Renew. They're just talking about the company here. We introduced Asea to clients in August last year after road testing it for 2 months and loved the results of the many health benefits we felt, especially the boost of energy. This little tube of gel continually amazes us with the stories our clients share. This story of a client, oh no, I somehow forgot to put that photo in there. But they had some amazing story. Sorry about that. I must have left that off the slides. Oops. Lymphatic and detox support. So this is a way that you can really supercharge the benefits for your well-being of using the gel. So you rub the gel on all the areas of the lymph system, the thyroid, under the jaw line in these nodes here, in your armpits, inside your elbows here. This is a really good place, in the wrists, the bottom of the ribs under here. You probably can't see, I have a standing desk, so I can't really stand up because I'm already standing up. In the lower abdomen, inside the hip bones, inside the upper leg groin region, behind the knees, behind the ankles, the soles of the feet, like rub it on the soles of the feet. You can actually put a thicker kind of coating on the soles of the feet when you go to bed. That obviously you probably are aware of that, being from Singapore, that the feet, you know, relate to all the different organs and parts of the body. You can also do it on the ears, because the same thing with the ears, auricular, all around the outside of the ears, behind the ears here and in here. So this is, you can just get amazing results for overall health, helping your body to detoxify through the lymph system. You know, we want to shed toxins out of our body. That helps our health, and this helps our well-being. So that was the lymph system. Jet lag and flying. So, you know, you can't really take large amounts of like liquid on the planes internationally anymore. So I use it on the flight, face, neck, arms, ankles, and calves to help with circulation. You know, some people really have significant circulation issues. Over the throat and the neck and the lymphatic areas where you can get to. Now this lady, she says, I used to find flying really difficult. I now use the gel liberally on my face and legs throughout the flight, and even flying long distance, Australia to the USA, is much more manageable and without the side effects I used to suffer. So mature age, a lot of people, you know, people get watery eyes. Their skin can become very thin and tear easily as well. Age spots, pigmentation. I don't know what you call them in Singapore, but we call them like the bat wings or the tuck shop arms, this bit that only really happens to ladies. In Australia, we call them bat wings or tuck shop arms. Help tighten that up. Discomfort, aching joints, hemorrhoids. I've got a testimony I'll read in a minute about that. And massage into your feet and the nails to prevent brittle nails. So this is a great result. So for 50 years, I suffered the pain and embarrassment of hemorrhoids. I tried everything the doctor and pharmacy recommended, including 2 surgeries, not just 1, but 2. And later in life, I realized the power of natural medicine and clean living. My health greatly improved, but even after trying all the natural approaches, no improvement down below. 2 months of using the redox gel, so he was using it on his hemorrhoid twice a day, and the challenge was gone. And he wanted to remain anonymous. He didn't want his name on the testimonial for obvious reasons. So personal care. You can use it on, you know, we wear a lot of open shoes in Australia in the summer, get these cracked heels, so it's great for that. Balding and hair loss. I've seen that improve just with Renew, like in so many cases. A lot of people like to use it under their arms instead of a deodorant. Hand sanitizer, itchy skin, that kind of thing. A lot of beauty therapists will also use it after waxing and things like that, because it just takes all of that soreness out of that process. Okay, scars as well. So this is amazing. Like what I have seen done here is incredible in terms of the, you know, visual appearance. But what is very interesting is how this can translate into significant benefits for people's well-being. So in Chinese medicine, they believe that scar tissue, right, can interfere with the flow of qi or life energy in the body. So when, you know, I see acupuncturists and things like that, they will actually needle scars after you've had surgery or something to try and get the qi flowing through there again. And we actually have a friend in the US, and she had been drinking the liquid for a number of years, like 3.5 years. and had some incredible health improvements, but she had a 30-year-old scar from a hysterectomy. She had adhesions, and she just started using the gel purely for vanity. Like, that was her reason, like, was purely for vanity. She didn't want it to look like that anymore. Within 6 weeks, her significant digestive issues, which were, even after drinking the liquid for 3.5 years, were so significant that she had to either take things to stop her going to the toilet or starve before she traveled, because otherwise it would be a bad problem for her, all resolved in 6 weeks just from rubbing the gel in that area. Now, this is a lady that we had here in Australia, and she says, I must say my life has forever changed since starting using the redox gel. I used the gel on my stomach where I had extreme irritation, redness, and it would weep over a 25 to 30 year period. Can you imagine having a scar that wept every day for that long? This was a C-section scar. It was uncomfortable and at times painful. I only use the gel morning and night. You can see by the photos how it has improved and such a change for me. I no longer have to put dressings on every day to keep the area dry. So it's like completely gone. No problem there at all now. Post-surgery. So we have a lot of people that use this post-surgery because it really helps speed up the rate of recovery from this issue. So you want to be applying it all of the time if you've had some surgery. It's going to increase the skin blood flow and it'll accelerate the body's repair. We've had people have to get their stitches out early because it's healing up so fast when they do this. So this gentleman here, he was just using the gel, and he says, I may have got the validation you were looking for from the surgeon this morning. He said the healing looks more like 6 months rather than 6 weeks. He expected healing to have just started, but it's almost fully healed. Now that's phenomenal. 6 months reduced to 6 weeks. Okay, pregnancy and breastfeeding. This is actually me when I was pregnant, when I was still water skiing when I was pregnant. So rub it all over the belly, breast, hips and buttocks at least twice a day to prevent stretch marks. I got no stretch marks. Treatment and prevention of hemorrhoids, the cankles, like all the swelling. You can also massage into the perineum in the weeks leading up to the birth to improve elasticity and reduce the risk of tearing. Rub on before and after breastfeeding to prevent cracked nipples and sore breasts. And also improving post-birth skin elasticity. So I got quite huge after the birth. Like I had some issues which caused a lot of swelling and excess fluid. And so it was huge, and I lost 12 kilos in 8 days when I got out of hospital because of what was going on with me, and I didn't have any loose skin. I was putting a lot of Renew on, and even though that's like a massive amount of weight loss, right, in 8 days, like huge. It all just kind of went back in, and I didn't get any stretch marks, which was really awesome. I was very happy about that. Okay, so skin conditions. So all sorts of skin conditions. You've probably seen a lot of these kinds of results. A lot of these kind of skin issues that, like, this lady has actually an autoimmune condition that is showing up through the skin. Now, something that's really important to consider here, if people have had a condition that looks like this and other skin conditions where they have used a lot of steroid creams, like they've been using them long term to manage that condition, very often, in a lot of cases, it will look a lot worse and feel a lot worse before it gets better. Because not is only the body dealing with that skin condition, it has to detoxify all of those toxins that the people have been putting into their body through those steroid creams. So all the steroid cream is doing is it's pushing all the inflammation back inside, back under the skin, as well as all the toxins in that steroid cream. And so when you start to put the redox on there, all of that is going to come out. So often it will look worse before it gets better. If it's too uncomfortable for people, get them to only use it once a day or once every 2 days, and then also put in the lymphatic areas that I mentioned earlier to help the body clear those toxins out. Make sure they drink plenty of water because it can be really uncomfortable. Sports performance and recovery, pre and post workout to large muscle groups. You know, pre-workout to get more out of the workout, post to recover. Like literally, if you use this after you work out, no sore muscles, like none at all. Like you just don't get them, but liberally, like over the muscle groups that you work. And also really help with injury recovery and things like that for athletes, or prevent it. Because like people that are athletes that are they don't have to be professional athletes. They might be just people that work out a lot and are really active. They are super prone to injury and being out of like what they love to do, being active for a time because they push their bodies so hard. So this is a quote from an Olympian that we have here in Australia. And she says, I tried every kind of therapy to get rid of major discomfort from a gym injury. I couldn't brush my hair or raise my arms. After using the gel for 6 weeks, she didn't have that issue any longer. Then as a former athlete, she saw the athletic advantage. She says if she'd had this back in the 80s and 90s, she wouldn't have cried herself to sleep so many times at night because she was in so much agony. She was training every day and she was sore every day. So she said these people that are competing and training at this level, she's like, that was normal. They would cry themselves to sleep every night because they were so sore from the level of training that they put their bodies through to compete at that level. Sun care. This is my husband, Justin. He's not able to stay in the sun as long as what I am. And he did this to himself. He fell asleep one day. He was very red. I thought he was going to like completely peel and blister for sure, but we got the Renew on him. We just kept putting it on, like we're putting on every 30 minutes, 36 hours, totally back to normal. And he didn't peel at all. Not even one little bit. So really fantastic for that. I know Australians might be a little bit more prone to doing stupid things like that than Singaporeans, I suspect. You can also apply it if you're going out in the sun. It's not a sunscreen, but it will help protect and repair your skin while you're out in the sun. So weight loss, really awesome for tightening loose skin during and after weight loss, because sometimes people can lose a lot of weight and then they can be, not feel good because they have this like loose skin. So we can really see that tighten up. We've seen some phenomenal examples, some better ones than that, but they didn't want to give the photos out. Teeth. Amazing for teeth. So we have several dentists here that we work with that actually do what they do is when patients come in and they have dental surgery, they send them home, because remember we didn't have liquid for a long time. They send them home with RENU28 instead of telling them to take pain relief. So they say, go home, rub this all over the outside of your cheeks, and that's what they tell them to do. And it helps the swelling, the inflammation, the discomfort. So this is from one of our dentists. She says, when patients have surgery where I would expect swelling and inflammation, 100% of patients using the redox gel report reduction of swelling faster than without redox gel. The redox diminishes a lot of the discomfort, which makes the patients happy. This was also an injury with teeth. A friend of mine, her son came off his scooter and smashed his teeth. They used the redox, no swelling or bruising, and he even ate dinner 2 hours later. They took him to the dentist a few days later in this third photo here. And the dentist was like, there's nothing wrong with his teeth. Anyway, so she insisted that they x-ray his teeth, and they were all fractured up above the gum, in the gum line. They were all fractured. The dentist was like, I can't believe it. His teeth should be black. And like, maybe he would lose them because they were fractured, but they like completely like just healed up and he had no problems. Okay.